Steve, Elaine, you want any public comment? No? Linda, any public comment? No one online public comment? Okay. The approval of the minutes of February 7th.
I
Okay.
move that we approve the minutes
Sue?
of February 2nd.
Any second?
Second.
Okay. Whoever you want. Pam. Okay, thank you. My trustees chair report. A couple of reminders.
We have to vote on the minutes.
Oh, sorry, thanks, Jamie. Good catch. Okay, vote on the minutes. Deidre and Jamie, you have to go first because you have to do it one by one.
Aye.
Deidre? Pam?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
Joan? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, thank you. The chair report, a couple quick things. I had sent everyone an email from Molly Bates about doing the online training that you have to get done, so please remember to do that. It's due by April 1st. You don't know, Pam? Okay, we'll find it. I'll resend it out. If you're on a committee, you have to do it. If you're on any committee, you have to do it every year, so we can do that. The other couple of things that I just want to talk about. I do have a little fascination with the display case that's currently up at the library. It's the one that really drove me crazy last year, and it's back up, and it's from Nauset Newcomers. It looks really bad. It's just the banner, and on the side, there's two banners. It doesn't take any use. It doesn't bring to life what it should bring to life. And that's a free advertising space, and if we're gonna give it to someone, they need to really value that space. Tavi is handling it. He's put a call into them to tell them they need to fix what's there and show them some other examples. So just, if everyone walks in there and sees it, just know we are all on top of it. It is one of my pet peeves, because it's free advertising, and it should represent the library and should represent the community, and right now it does not. So that's there. The other thing is, I don't know if everyone has noticed, but the Mutt Mitt holder is up.
Oh.
It, it got up. It's not as far onto the green as I would have thought it would be, but I know the person that installed it who told me we had no choice, so that's where it is. But they didn't want it right near the garbage can because they actually don't want people dropping their bags of stuff in the garbage can. They want them to take it home, which we know people.
That's not gonna happen.
And if people don't bring their own bags, the chance of them bringing it home is less, but it's there, which I think is great. And Jamie, thank you for getting that done. It's going to be better than it was. The other thing is there are some trees that have died that are on whatever trees or shrubs that are looking sad that have been done. Those will be replaced by the DPW. I think everything looks pretty good right now, Tavi, right? But they will take care of that also. The only report is I just sat through the feasibility task force meeting. Steve's here and Jamie sat through it, and there'll be some updates. Maybe Steve can give some updates during one of these topics, is what I'm assuming, of what's going on with the time and everything else like that. And other than that, I think for the trustees chair report, I don't have anything else at this time, because we could just move right into the warrant article, unless, Steve, you want to do your update now?
I'd be happy to do it now if
Okay.
you like. So we just had a feasibility study task force meeting. We're on track to finish up our work. We expect to see a draft of the report at our next meeting, which is the end of March. We talked at some length about, we're currently scheduled to present the final report to the select board on April 10th, regularly scheduled Wednesday meeting. We had some discussion about whether we'd be able to have the report finalized and available for their packet in time, for that meeting. It might be a little tight. And we talked about possibly moving it back a couple of weeks because there's no, potentially we could move it back, you know. However, the select board is not scheduled to meet the following week, which is the 14th. That was kind of what we were hoping might work.
17th, right,
So it would be the 24th, which happens to be the week of Passover, which is not ideal. I just had a long discussion with Molly about the select board schedule, and I talked to our consultant again, and we're gonna look and try and stick to our original plan of presenting the final report to the select board on April 10th, with the fallback that if necessary, we push it back, you know, to the 24th if we just didn't have it together. I think our consultant feels confident, thinks it might be tight, but he feels confident we can do it, and we both agree that getting it done earlier rather than later is better, you know. So I think it's just more, you know, we're meeting on that last Friday of March, and then we're meeting on the following Thursday. So hopefully, between those two meetings, we'll be able to finalize the report and have it available for the select board for their meeting on April 10th. The report is not gonna, I think, be a surprise to any of you. Essentially, it's gonna, I think you've all seen the draft of the article warrant, and which I think kind of summarizes what the report is gonna say, that yes, it's feasible. Of course, it'll have a lot more information in it, and including a fairly up-to-date, detailed cost analysis of what the actual construction costs associated with the project might likely be. So, based on more or less the existing program, you know, building about 24,000 square feet. And it will, you know, state that either of the sites is feasible. You know, that was looked at, but the cost estimate and the detail associated with that will be focused on the current site. So, I can take any questions, or I'm still working on trying to do a little outreach to various groups, just to make sure everybody's aware of what we're up to and why we're doing it. So.
I forgot like a bunch of things for my director's report, so, still in Spain time now. No, I think it was a great, Lindsay's here now. I think it was a great meeting that you just had, Steve. You really come a long way. I mean, the fact that it's almost done is pretty amazing. So, I'm gonna go back to the director's report because I forgot way too many things in my notes here. Steve and I met with the women that, with Martha Sherrill, who writes Exit 89, and the library will be featured in an upcoming Exit 89 email. That's coming out in end of March sometime. So we met with her, we talked about the library.
Exit 89 email.
Yes, it's the email that you
Do they
get.
still, I never got an email about Exit 89.
I could send you the link, it's a great
Yeah.
email, it's
But
written by.
there used to also be a regular publication.
I
Exit
don't know.
89.
No.
That's not there
No,
anymore?
we've never printed.
Never
Never
printed
mind
it.
to print.
Never
So it's-
printed it?
Never.
No.
Oh,
It's
I'm
always
thinking
been
of that one
Strictly
along
online.
6A.
Oh, yeah, that was all,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So this is
Okay.
strictly, if you don't get it, I will send it to everyone because it's a very well done email. It brings you up
It
to
is.
speed on what's going on in town in language that everyone can understand, and it's a well-run, Elaine's on the board of it, and, but I could
Okay.
send you the link.
Yeah.
So we met with her, we had a great meeting and talked about the library and the need for it. They don't provide they provide a unbiased point of view, although we know we have great supporters, they've come to a bunch of the library meetings, and so that has been really good. The other thing is, we do have someone, a third person that's pulled papers to run for the library seats, so we will have all library seats filled. And this person is Lauren?
Lauren Spengler.
Lauren Spengler.
Actually, and I just learned today that Sherry Bryan has pulled
Yeah.
papers as well.
We have 4 people that have pulled papers?
Apparently, there's now 4 people for 3 slots, so, yeah, I was gonna share that with you, if I had a moment.
Yeah.
Privately.
Yeah, I
Oh
just-
man, I'm gonna have to buy lawn signs.
You're the trustee chair.
Oh, the trustee.
Yeah, I went back here
Oh, the
because I messed
trustees.
up.
Why
Well-
are there 3 slots?
There were 3 that are up for
Oh.
reelection. Deidre's not going to.
Right,
run.
that's right, I remember.
So there was an
She was the
empty
one I
one.
couldn't remember.
And there's 2 people
Yeah.
that might want it.
So I
And
think-
Jamie's spot, Jamie has to rerun and Mark's rerunning. And so we had actually sent out a request for some people who would be interested in rerunning,
Yeah.
in running. And Lauren would be she has a lot of great experience in library stuff also, so.
I think someone should circle back to her just to let her know, though, because I think she might decide not to run, because I know I spent some time talking to her about, you know, what being a trustee is about,
Right.
and what the responsibilities are, and I get the sense from her that she wouldn't be running if it was a contested position.
Okay, well, we could talk about it later.
Yeah.
Well, Sherry Bryant's been a trustee before, hasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is, the capital campaign committee, last time we talked about it, we did sign the memorandum of understanding. It's been agreed to. We will be looking for an external person to be on that committee, in addition to whoever's going to be our financial person. Once Deidre leaves will be important. But that committee has been formed. We did receive a check for $5,000 from Andy Bernard, and that is to kick off our capital campaign. And so that was very nice to start that with that check coming in. So we're at a start, and, you know, just wanted to recognize Andy for giving us
The
that.
external person, what should be their qualifications?
An interested party, I guess, or interested.
I mean, is it somebody that should know all about money?
No.
No.
No, because I'll be on it and whatever trustee is the treasurer on the, trustees will be on it. So no, they don't have to know all about money. Just I would just say an interested party in the community that's interested in the new library.
Okay.
And someone that has a sense of the town, I would say, and some of the issues that we're facing, because we're going to vote on, how do we spend the money that we have towards a building committee, how much do we spend on some marketing ideas, and what's taking place. And maybe I could talk to Lauren about being that person, Steve, so we can have a conversation. The other thing is I did recruit 3 people to be on a fundraising committee under this committee. So I've got 3 people lined up for that. And they are not on the library trustees or anything like that. They're all just new people that are interested. So that's good news there.
Development committee.
And the development committee, correct. We have changed the word. Right? Development committee and then the capital campaign board. So we could get that kicked off once we're ready, probably after the town meeting, because we'll know how we did at the town meeting in terms of the warrant article. Okay, sorry, I forgot all of that. All right, so let's talk about the warrant article. Did everyone got it? I sent it last night. Okay, so it started as a very, much smaller warrant article, and then we had a great team the other day that met on it, Steve, Jamie, Tracy, Sally, Tavi, and myself, and we really looked at what the explanation could be. I did share this with someone who told me it looks like we're trying to sell in the program, and I said, yep, you're correct, we're trying to sell it in because we want everyone to understand it, and what better place to have it written than in the warrant as the explanation. We don't know if the town is going to accept this because it's pretty big, the explanation, but we're going to give it a shot. Because it really, what it does is, the warrant article as it's written is what we have to say on the MBLC. This is exactly what we have to say, and it's pretty dry and confusing. But if you read the explanation, it explains it in layman's terms of what exactly we're looking for. So we wanted to vote on it and give the trustees a chance to read it. It is wordy, but we think more words at this point are better than less in terms of getting the point across of why we need this warrant article.
I would just say, I don't think it's that wordy. I think it's just got a lot of spaces in it.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Okay, it has a lot of spaces, not so wordy. So,
Will we have somebody stand up at the town meeting and, at the front and explain this?
I'm gonna find out if I could stand up at the front of the meeting and explain it, and then Steve maybe will be there with me in case there's questions about feasibility. If someone gets up and asks, well, how much is this library gonna cost? We will have an estimate that comes from the feasibility task force, but I want to get into, that's not what the discussion's about, because if we go down
Right.
that path, it's gonna be an
But
unending.
Somebody's gonna ask.
Someone's gonna ask.
I mean, the language of the warrant itself might be apparent to some people, but I don't think it will be easily read by others.
Right, well, and that's why we had the
It's
explanation.
lawyer talk.
Right,
And so, but I think the explanation is really good.
oh, good.
I had my husband read it, he thought it was good. I read it, and I'll just play devil's advocate. The one line that popped out at me in the warrant, which we can't change, is or any other sum. That, so it sounds like we're giving them free rein. And, I mean, like we're getting any other sum.
But they all have that.
I think that's. in
I
every-
think that's the whole,
that's in
I know,
every
I've seen
article.
that in other articles
Sue and
too.
Finance Committee, we go round and round about the fact that
She's
all
boilerplate.
warrant articles have to say and any other sum. Because some of us go, what do you mean? That could be billions of dollars. And the answer back from my report is, it must be there, or any other sum. It's part of the
Okay.
definition of how the warrant articles are written.
So that's the only thing that's sort of scary. I did not realize that if we get the grant, that the whole design would be paid for by the grant. If
Well-
that's what we're saying right here.
Toward the design.
If we get the
Toward the
grant,
design.
we're gonna get a certain amount of money for the grant. And what that money covers is, it should cover the design. I mean, that's,
Okay.
but you're splitting hairs in one sense, because let's say we get 30% of the cost of the building project.
Because this grant process is a revised process, it's different from what the state has done in the past for their construction program for libraries. We're not really sure, how much of the design will be covered in this, or whether that's going to be part of, when we come back for the big number, whether it'll be incorporated into that. At least that's my take on it. I just don't know, I think it's because it's a brand-new process that previously they would ask you to do a request for design, right? That was after you did, that was full design, so to speak. This is their definition of design, so it's a long way of saying, I don't understand it.
I wonder if we should take out that statement.
With the remaining monies for design to be provided by the state grant program.
Right. Because if we come back in 2 years and ask for money for the design, they're gonna remind us, we told them.
When we come back,
Yeah.
should we be lucky enough to come back, having got the grant, we're only coming back one more time.
If we get
And
the
it's
grant, we
gonna
come
be-
back one more time for
Yes.
all the
Yes,
rest of the
all
money.
inclusive.
Right.
Okay. We don't come twice.
If we don't get the grant, then
Then we gotta-
in fact, we'd be
right.
coming back for design.
Right.
Okay.
So that's how I understand it, so I think.
Okay,
I
then
think
it sounds
it's-
all
I think
right.
it's accurate.
Okay.
Linda, what do you think?
No, I was just going to say, would it be appropriate here or not to include the anticipated date of the grant approval? Would the timing be appropriate to put in there? Just people might be interested in,
The May 30th date, huh? I mean, the grant,
Yeah.
that's when the grant is due, right?
May 31st.
Well, or when we would hear back.
Well, we don't know
We don't
exactly when
know.
we're gonna hear back.
Oh, okay, all right, so then maybe you
I
don't
mean, I
want to
think that's the
put
kind
it-
of thing that probably will get asked, and we can answer,
Yeah, okay.
in real time, but,
They say in the fall.
Okay,
right.
because you could say anticipated in the fall or something, but, or you could speak to it.
It's a good question to make sure.
Linda, could I ask you, since you were at the Friends
fall.
meeting that
Yeah.
I was, do you feel that this,
That's why I was reading it.
does it
Yes, this
answer
is
the
much
sort of
better.
concerns that
Yes,
came up
it
at that
does,
meeting?
much better,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I do. No, I think this is perfect.
Okay. Elaine, you have any questions, any comments?
I think there will be some confusion about why the word feasibility is under warrant article.
Yeah.
I know why it's there, because that's what this library board is requiring. But some of these have to come back on that $180,000 last year and say, I thought that was for feasibility.
That's a good point.
So to distinguish between the two, what the 180 is accomplishing versus what the 150 is. That, and correct me, you guys know what you're doing here.
No, we're
The,
there.
We described it as a feasibility 2 years ago, and that was incorrect, which is why we had to come back and redo it and eliminate that word feasibility. So now feasibility is where it is now, under the coming May 24 warrant article.
I don't remember what you're referring back to, but,
Where we had to rewrite that article?
This
because
is
it was
what
a-
we're rewriting.
Right,
This is what the MBLC is having us right now.
correct.
So
So what was the 180? The 180 was not for feasibility, correct?
it was.
no, it was for
Right,
feasibility.
yeah.
The dilemma we've been facing is that, if we don't get the grant, we still want to go ahead and try to get this library built, and that would require a feasibility study. We didn't know the grant program, what the timing, when we were going forward with the feasibility study, it was only right around that time that we learned that the grant program was going to happen, and they didn't have all the details associated with it at that point in time. So, one could have argued, oh, well, we should have just waited, another year before we, before we came to the town and asked for any money associated with that. And that, we talked at some length about that, a year ago, and the longer we wait, the worse the situation becomes. So, I don't know. I think it's a sticky point.
We have to,
You have to have this wording, right?
you have to have that wording
Right.
from the MBLC.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why in the explanation, can we not put $180,000 was voted, half funded by the library trust, was voted to complete the study, which has been completed? I mean, why can't we attach the $180,000 to what it was actually spent for? In the explanation.
That's kind of implied in that first sentence of the explanation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think, yeah, I know it's implied, but I think implied is, I think for a lot of people, you need to put it right out there.
So parenthetically, 90 from town, 90 from friends?
It was 90 from town, 90 from the trustees, not from the friends.
From the trust, yeah.
So it was from our trust. And I don't know if it's actually, the check has been written because the trust don't reflect it, but I think that for the purposes of clarity, this money was voted, it has been used, the study has been completed, and then you just separate it from the top paragraph entirely. It will be a lot more obvious to people.
That was completed.
Because it's a funded, completed study.
Use the word feasibility. Capitalize it.
also fund a completed feasibility study?
No, I think it's 180K, and to your point, maybe we do put in 90 from the town and but 180 was approved.
You know, as someone who's spent a lot of time thinking about the language for this, and I think when we were working on it yesterday, Joan made this point that we're all too close to it, you know? And that's why, you know, Tavi brought it around to his staff yesterday after we read it, and the feedback seemed positive that people understood what it said. So, you know, I'm a little leery myself of, you know, trying to, on the fly, in a group of a dozen people, trying to suggest, you know, how to tweak this thing further, you know?
I don't think it's that I just need to back up a second. I'm wondering if there's something that's said at the beginning of the town meeting, when we're talking about the warrant article, that addresses the feasibility and feasibility. I mean, I think it's gonna have to be addressed, but I think if we put the word feasibility in here, again, it becomes more problematic. But potentially, if we get up there to speak, we have to address the fact that we spent the 180, it was completed, yes, we can build the library here, and now we have to vote exactly on the wording for the MBLC.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah,
I think it's just really important when you or anybody else is up there that you state that the reason why that we did the feasibility studies is that the town requires a feasibility study be done before any sort of a major ask is done. I mean, as Steve said, we weren't exactly sure what was going on with the state, and but we knew that the town was requiring it, so that's why we did it.
State library required that, and then they required this.
Well, when you say that, I'm not sure what you mean.
And I guess you don't want to get too worried, that we needed the numbers for the grant, too.
we did need the numbers, well, we needed the numbers for the capital plan, and we needed the numbers for the grant to know what bucket we were falling within. I mean, that's absolutely true.
I think, I personally, I think adding the word feasibility into that first sentence was approved to fund a feasibility study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I think, I think would be fine to say, you know, because it's true, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and it clarifies,
You know, and I think that edit is, as Deidre said, you know, clarifies, you know, what that money was spent for, right? And then to what Jamie said, when Joan gets up there, you know, or whoever, you know, speaks from the floor, whatever, to support this thing, you know, and make and you know, Tavi, you know, can speak to it as well, you know, the language of the warrant article where it says library assessment, planning, feasibility, and/or design, that's language required by the state,
Right.
right.
right? That's a mandate. The town has to approve that language and the money for us to be qualified for the possibility of getting a grant. And the and/or means that that money could be used, you know, we've already done the library assessment, we've already done the library planning, so to speak, you know, so that's why we're saying at the bottom, we're not repeating all those things, you know, we're just saying it's gonna go toward the design of the library, so.
I have a question, Steve, though. With that, and this was the one thing I still go back to, in the bottom paragraph, the approval of this year's article would be put in explicitly as written is a mandatory requirement. Because that's exactly what it is. We have to approve it explicitly as written. That would be what I would add.
You want to say that in the explanation?
Yeah, the approval of his article, comma, explicitly as written is a mandatory requirement, because we can't change what's written. We wouldn't have put in some of those words, right?
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I
I
agree.
think so. I think so too. The other thing that might be helpful with the feasibility study in the first paragraph of the explanation, is to make it clear that the town required it. That this is not an MDLC requirement.
Well,
I mean, you don't say that, but what I would say at last year's annual town meeting, $180,000 was approved to fund a feasibility study required by the town that determined that the library's current site, blah, blah, blah.
I want to back up for a second. The town required it, but we also needed the feasibility study to get an accurate cost of how much this library was going to cost to be built. And that
Right,
then puts us in the...
But the MBLC did not require that feasibility study.
No, but what they required is you needed to know how much money this was going to cost you, so that then you can know when you're applying, where you fall. So
Right.
if we didn't have the feasibility study, we wouldn't have gotten the cost, and we wouldn't have had the money in the capital improvement plan.
Well,
I understand.
There's
I
many
think
reasons.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's important for people to understand who's requiring what, and that we're just not spending this money because we think it's a good idea.
The town required it,
But-
but the town.
The town didn't require that we do it then. The town just said, if you're going to do this study, you need to do the feasibility study part of it.
Right. Well,
What do you think, Stevie?
I'm not gonna put too fine a point on it, but
No, I'm just trying to figure out if we put in there required by the town, is that 100% correct?
If you want to build a new municipal building, you need to do a feasibility
Fine.
study.
So let's put in there required by the town.
Hey, John,
Yeah? Sorry.
that was
Put that
something
in
that
the
was like,
municipal building
um,
part.
oh, that was something that the Friends were really concerned about as well, and it wasn't clear. And they all said, oh, this really needs to be clear, because they had so many questions about it. And, and Mark and Tavi were so good at explaining that, that portion, we did need to do that. It's not that we're asking for this 300,000, it's that we didn't know we needed to ask for more, but we've found that we do. And I think that people in the town will have the same question, it'll be, well, why are you just, asking for this same amount again or more?
last section.
Yeah,
So I just think that it should be really explicit.
yeah, it was more around what was the 150 going to be used for. That was really what the discussion was about.
Oh, we're not really sure.
Well, I mean, here, it says design,
But will they use a lot of the design elements that we already came up with? And design is gonna cost you a lot more. If you talk, like, you
Right,
were
but here
really
you
gonna go
say
just
the rest will come
design.
from the grant,
Yeah.
though. So you say the 150 will go toward the design of a new library with the remaining monies for the design to be provided by the state grant program.
Right.
So the 150 will go toward the design, and the balance of the design costs will come from the grant.
And the 152, that was what the MBLC said. They
Right.
said you have to do 150, 150.
Oh, okay. That's a good point.
So do we think we should add in required by the town's rules on municipal buildings? Required by the town? I'm open to anything to make this clear,
Would that
but I
be
think it confuses
An
us sometimes.
explanation rather than in the actual.
Tavi, what do you think?
Well,
It's in the
I,
explanation.
you can say required by the town, I wouldn't say municipal building, because I don't know, someone might want to see
Right.
where the law is.
I know.
And I don't know that there is actually one.
Could you say 180 was approved to fund a town-required feasibility study? Or is that,
Well,
no?
Well,
just a feasibility study required by the town.
but the question is, was it required by the town?
Well, and Tavi's saying that all municipal buildings require a feasibility study.
No, Tavi didn't say that.
I
Steve
said
said
Yeah, and
that.
I'm only
Steve
saying
did,
because
I'm
I was
sorry.
told that.
Yeah, I've been told that, but,
Yeah.
so.
Well-
To be really clear on this would take a lot more
Yes.
words, you know? And the more words, the more explanation, I think, the less clear, in some sense, you could say it's gonna be, right? I think you know, if you go into it, you know, saying, we did this feasibility study that showed that the library, in fact, is feasible, and the wording above, as I think Joan suggested, is the next, is a required step for us to be eligible for the construction grant money.
All right, I have a wacky idea, which throws out. What would happen if we take the last paragraph and make it the first paragraph? And we start with the approval of this year's article explicitly as written is a mandatory requirement for the town of Orleans. If the grant is awarded, Then we talk about, at last year's meeting, what we funded.
Sounds good.
Or you can drop off last year's, a discussion of last year's meeting and wait till somebody else brings it up.
Yeah, right, yeah, just go with the
Okay,
last
just-
paragraph.
Just go with the last
I
paragraph.
think that's a great
People have
idea.
very short
Yeah.
memories. That's clear.
You know, and then someone will go, well, what did we spend $180,000 for last year? And we can go, well, we did
Right.
feasibility.
Right.
To document that.
And that way it's not in black and white.
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
more clear.
Yeah.
God, sometimes I have a decent idea. You never know, Steve.
That's good.
Oh,
That's
sure.
good. Cut.
I'm texting Rick.
I just had a good idea. Come on.
Does this still have to be approved by the select board?
We
Will
have
they
to
read
send
it
this.
all and comment on it too?
Yes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
they're gonna have to vote on,
I mean, if-
they typically vote on every article, right?
Because I was gonna say, if we put in something like required by the town, they might say, take it out.
So why don't we just put in the last paragraph?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Could,
Not knowing
Steve,
anything
am I
about this.
right? I think when I've heard Matt talk, he has said, we at this point are only going up to this stage. This is not, there's far more to do if we move forward with this project. I mean, when you think about it, isn't that next step, that is design, right? I mean, there's really a design piece that, a far more detailed
Yes.
design that's
Oh,
going on
yeah.
for
Oh, yeah,
building.
yes.
So I mean, they're two different designs.
Right, I mean, all we were doing is kind of, you know, doing enough concept, and I guess you could say design, that would allow a decent, to do two things. One, to demonstrate that, yeah, the site can hold the program and meet the requirements, and that we can get a decent cost estimate.
Right.
But I like stating what, the new library would have, maybe to remind the people some of the additions and why it
Well, that
would be
could
so
still go
nice.
under the explanation, couldn't it?
Well, we were talking about only putting this bottom paragraph in now.
Right, but that could go under warrant article and then under explanation, you could
No.
still
No,
leave.
this can't, the
explanation.
approval.
This would be the explanation,
Yeah.
that's it.
How about this? I have this other, I'm gonna give you two options. Show it to some people you know. Because I think I'm very close to it. I'm like way too close to it. We've written this thing read this 6 times. But I think the more I look at it, the more it's better just to have the bottom paragraph. Don't include the sales story about what we've done with the 180, because this is not about the 180. This is about going forward. So we just do the approval, and let's see how that flies. Give it a couple of days. This is due the 14th. Tavi and I have to have this into the town by the 14th.
Okay.
I'm
So how are we
leaning,
gonna vote on it?
well, I'm leaning towards just the bottom paragraph.
We don't have to approve it, did you say?
I mean, let's just go around the room and just see what people are leaning towards right now. Lindsay?
I like the bottom paragraph. I feel like it is, sorry about the beeping, much more clear. And I also think that it would be really helpful for someone just to stand up and give some bullet points. that, you know, someone's gonna ask about that 180 probably, and it's Joan or Steve, whoever it is, to stand up and say, that process is completed, that's what we spent that for, and that's what we spent that on, and now we're moving forward with this.
Okay. Deidre?
And for heaven's sakes, remind them when you're talking to them that the library paid for half of it.
Right, okay, but if we don't, I will, but are you open to just using the bottom paragraph?
I think the bottom paragraph is well written. I understand the reason for the first paragraph and the 5 bullet points underneath it. Because you can't sell this thing enough.
Right.
But it might not be necessary to do that at this particular meeting.
Okay. Pamela?
I agree with the bottom paragraph, sorry.
Okay. Sue?
At the bottom, but is it possible to maybe put the rest of this that we were gonna put in, something similar, on a postcard if we're sending it out?
Yes, and also, we're gonna talk about the display case in front of the library. I think the rest of this is, underneath is more communication points than it is warrant article
Okay.
points. And we use it for the postcard, and we use it for the
Okay.
display case and anything else we're gonna, the email, the
Right.
newsletter, the WOW email. I mean, that's some of the stuff I think we should use it as. That was the stuff that my husband told me, what am I trying to do, sell the library in? And the answer was yes. So, explanation. Mark, what do you think?
I like the change, suggested
Okay,
change.
just the
Short and sweet.
short and sweet. Jamie's not here, but, okay, so we don't even have to go over it. Linda, what do you think?
You know, I like, you know, putting that, the approval right under there. I do think, you know, somebody really, as Deidre or somebody mentioned, that the question is gonna come up, because it's the same thing that came up with the Friends, is what was the 180 for, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, whether you address it in writing, you know, is one thing, but it has to be addressed, because I just, because people just, they may not read the postcard, they may not read the email, they may not look at the display case when they come into the library.
It's the heat of
And
the
it,
moment.
they just, you know, people feel nickel and dimed if they don't really understand what it's for. But I mean, that was the whole thing that came out of the Friends meeting was, well, what was the fees, you know, what was the 180 we already approved?
But the only other thing is, even on the warrant, unless somebody has taken it and read it ahead of time,
True.
as you're going through
True.
the town meeting,
Yeah,
people are, the warrant will be read, but a lot of people are only trying to read the explanation there and don't even get it all read.
yeah. Well, what I mean is
So-
regardless of whether it's here or not,
Yeah.
somebody needs to
Do you-
address it.
Do you think we should have some things printed up that we hand out at the beginning when people walk in, and that includes this?
Those are your voters.
The 180, I mean, that might be the best
Yeah,
thing. We
that's the
do a
target.
little write-up, and some of us stand there and hand it out, and I think that would be the,
Sure, I'd be willing to do that.
okay,
We could all do it.
all right. So let's vote on just having the explanation, and then rewriting the part that started last year, including that we paid 90 grand from the trustees, and including what was done, and we'll hand that out as people walk into the library. Because I agree with you, people are not reading that warrant article. I mean, we're sitting there reading it out of passing time, I think.
Yeah.
But, okay, all right, so, any more comments on it? Elaine, anything, any thoughts? Steve, any more thoughts?
Just to comment that that last paragraph is actually what we went into yesterday's meeting with.
I know.
And then everything
We
else
added it.
above it is kind of what we thought, oh, we need to add this, that, and the other. So I'm totally fine with just that last paragraph.
You're absolutely correct, you wrote that first, weeks ago.
You know, and
Back to
that,
basics.
you know, and that
Okay.
this whole article is as it says, it's a requirement to be
Right.
eligible for
But I
the grant.
do think you need to
I
add
put
the
in
words
explicitly
exactly as written.
explicitly
Yeah.
as written, right.
Yeah, yeah.
And if the word feasibility was not in the top warrant article, I think it would be fine, but it is, and we have to put that in there, so,
Okay.
But at least it's an and/or.
yeah, and/or, okay. All right, so you're absolutely correct, Steve. We added all this 4 hours later. Now we're removing it.
Another hour of my life I'm not getting back.
Done! You'll never get it back. At least we had a good conversation. All right, so let's just take a vote, please, on that. We're going to just put down the explanation, the last paragraph, adding in explicitly as written. And we will also come up with some copy that we're going to use on all communication vehicles, including things we hand out as people are walking into the library.
Right.
And we will add into that about the 180 that the trustees paid 90 and 90 came from the town. And we will add in that we're anticipating to find out about the grant sometime in the fall.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll work on that.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so let's take a vote on that, please. Someone needs to make a motion.
Can we just say, just what you said?
Yes.
I don't think I can remember the whole thing.
Just say
but
you're
I-
gonna make a motion to use the last paragraph
Okay, I make a motion to use the last paragraph as we discussed.
for the warrant, okay? So you
Do
want
the
to
last
second it?
paragraph of
I'll
the
second it.
explanation.
What? Excuse me, Deirdre?
Last paragraph of the explanation.
Right, last paragraph of the explanation.
Okay.
Okay.
Sue, you gonna second it?
I second it.
All right, let's go around and vote. Deirdre?
Aye.
Lindsay?
Aye.
Pamela?
Aye.
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 Okay. Phew. Let's do another, I just want to do another vote on the communication points. We don't need to vote on that,
I
right?
don't think so.
No,
Not right
perfect.
now. I don't know where to bring this up.
Is it hard? Is it a hard
It's
question?
just a comment.
Sure.
Last week's little newspaper had that whole article about a town campus
Yes.
and talking about building the new elementary school and the fire station.
Mhm.
We were not mentioned once.
Right, because for a good reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, because the town wants us to get this library built now in the current location and be the anchor, because that whole campus is not gonna
Why
happen.
wouldn't they include that as part of it?
Well, because that campus is not gonna happen until 2040 maybe. I mean, like you're talking long-term out there. And every meeting we've had with Kim and the select board, the library is walking distance to that campus. And this will be sort of the anchor spot that we know we could build on.
I had the same reaction to the fact that the library wasn't even mentioned, though, you know, as
Yeah.
part of
Sort of thought
it.
that
But, you know,
too, but-
it is what it is. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I mean, we're not part of that
Campus.
land, so to
But
speak.
that has to be voted on and approved at the town meeting.
Well, right,
Oh, yeah, it's got a
right.
long
But I
ways
was
to
just
go.
Got a
still
long
thought
ways.
we'd just,
I know.
and the start of that would be, the new library.
All right, great, so they forget us a lot. All right. You're correct, Sue, we don't have anything to
Okay.
say,
That
but,
might be the end of it as
Okay.
well.
right?
Letter to the editor.
Letter to the editor. We did get a nice coverage of from our last meeting about the fines being
Yes.
reduced and all that.
Yes.
That was
Great.
good.
That was great.
Congratulations to you all.
Yes, that was good.
Progressive
So that was
policy.
good. All right, so now we have gone back to where we started, and you're right. Let's tell Tracy it was 3 hours of her life well spent.
Okay.
And I will send that out. Okay. The next on the agenda,
Yeah,
let's go back, financial report.
Yeah, this will be brief because I'm still not getting the statements on the trust that I used to get. Bobby, do you know what's going on here?
All I know is that the numbers have actually only been done up until October.
Right.
So even if we were able to run our own Munis report, the information would only be up till October.
So when are they gonna fix that?
I imagine they're probably occupied right now with budget stuff, so it's gonna have to be done, but I don't have a date.
So, I mean, is there any other way to track what's going on with the trust?
Not that I know of, not that I'm aware of.
All right, okay. That'll be a problem for the new treasurer, I guess. Just quickly, as far as utilization rates, we're very comfortable. Because we're 2/3 of the way through the year and You can see that the utilization rate for salaries is 63 and the operating expenses is 57, so we're pretty comfortable there. I don't think that the 90,000 has been taken out of the trust funds yet to pay for the feasibility study. Is that correct?
Did you get a bill? Steve's not here.
Part, I mean, some of it, we have part of it, not all of it. Matt Oden sends us periodic bills, so we've paid 2 so far.
And that came out of what, Telfair?
No, the last one came out of free cash, I believe the first one did as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, but, yeah, it's just, it's really hard to figure that out because I don't have
Right.
the numbers I need to be able to report on that accurately.
Is the finance, Elaine would know, has the decisions been made on a new finance structure in town?
There will not currently be a new finance director. They are still using people that work in the finance department to put things together. I think there are more changes yet to be seen.
Oh, okay.
But the treasurer is still there, right?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Good. Okay. So, other than the $700 spent on music from the Telfair Trust, and the fact that we have not received any numbers on interest received into the trust from the commingled fund, you can see down at the bottom there. So, I mean, it looks okay, I guess. I mean, it's just really hard to know
Okay.
without getting the right numbers.
Is there anything we can do, Tavi, with finances, or will the treasurer even listen to Deidre if she sends a note to say, can we have this info?
Well, I mean, I believe it's a question of what department does it. It's the finance department that does it, that provides these, so.
I have a question.
Should I track that down, Tabby?
I mean, you can contact them if you want to, but I mean, we know, I mean, both Teresa and I, she does the monthly budget summary, I mean, the numbers have been done up through October, so it's, you wouldn't get anything different by calling.
So, all right, but, I just, in terms of, are they gonna start doing it again?
I think you could call though, because the CPC, we were lacking some of these reports and we needed it in order to figure out how much money we had left over for this year to help fund things, and they pulled it for us because we were at like the breaking point. So maybe, Deidre, you can just ask them and see what happens, no harm.
Okay, I was just putting a call, see what's happening. It just makes it very hard to track. And these aren't large numbers, but, it's our fiduciary responsibility to know these things.
Right. Okay, I think you should call and ask them. Okay, what's your question, Sue?
I have another question. Maybe I asked this before. These revolving funds, Deidre, like the Leslie Pike Fund,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, where are they kept? Are they kept just in a bank?
Well, I believe they're kept by the town.
They're all kept by the town.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, we are a town operation.
so we can't like take part of this money and put it into a CD that would make
No.
some money.
No.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's very safe though, a CD.
You can't make any money on your money.
This money, any money that the town has, they manage it.
Oh,
And there are restrictions on what you can do with it.
okay.
So, no, you can't take it out and put it in a CD, unfortunately. I mean, it'd be nice if it was invested, but.
Okay.
Especially that's no risk.
And even if we wanted to spend it, it would have to somehow get approval, almost, to do anything with it.
No, we can use these funds and they're replenished that's why it's a revolving fund.
Well, I mean, some of them are replenished with the state aid or contributions and stuff. Others are sort of sitting there, but, okay, all right. Sorry.
Yeah, the state aid, that comes in, I don't, is it quarterly, Tavi? or
Twice a year.
Twice a
Right,
year.
Right,
So, yeah.
right.
I think it's when Deidre took the finance position, she asked the same questions and banged her head against the wall. But
I did, but I got answers at
we
the
got
end.
answers, but we're not making any money on any of our money, right?
No, we're not keeping up with inflation, that's for sure.
Okay, all right. All right, any other questions? No? Okay, Tavi?
I don't have anything to add to my written report, unless anyone has any questions.
Tavi, how about you give an update on the application process? And what we talked about a little bit.
For the grant, so I've done all the parts of the grant that I can do myself, and I'm going to be reaching out to other departments to get information necessary for the grant. And I had as I mentioned in my report, and I had a long conversation with Patricia Basler, and we discussed some of the questions I had and how to proceed with it. And I am going to revise the statement of need based on our conversation, and incorporating in a lot of those statistics that Joan passed on to me that she got from the school and about affordable housing.
I think that's great, I think it's really important.
Okay.
So we haven't received a bill yet from her, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, this conversation, which was probably like an hour and 45 minutes, probably one of our longer ones. Up until this time, there really hasn't been enough
Sure.
to send,
Okay.
but I imagine there's going to be one shortly.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Okay, anything, nothing else for Tavi? Oh, okay, Linda?
Yes, as you mentioned, the Friends also approved the MOU at our last meeting, so that was agreed to. As you mentioned, we opened the capital campaign investment account at Cape Cod 5. The additional donation was deposited the day we received it. It's accruing interest. I've set up the accounts in QuickBooks to incorporate the capital campaign committee, so we've got those donations in our P&L. We'll see them when the P&L comes out in February, so we're well on our way. Also, there was a $10,000 grant from the Fred J. Brotherton Foundation that was approved, so we'll be using that for the second Storyteller Series. The Storyteller Series, I don't know if you remember from a little over a year ago. It'll run from July 10th to August 28th. It'll be Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. in the Marion Crane Room. We have 7 storytellers and the Tanglewood Marionettes that will be performing. So,
Sorry, how much was from the Brotherton Foundation?
10,000.
That's nice.
Yeah, they gave us one about a year and a half ago, and so it's great, terrific. And the Storyteller Series is wonderful, too.
Wasn't that done outdoors testing?
It was, and there were a lot of complaints about the heat
Oh,
and
right.
everything, so they decided to move it into the Marion Crane Room. So there's, some of the people are from before, but some are new, and it's a really great program.
The Marion Crane Room.
Yes. Let's see. Book sales, which have been down, started to improve a bit in February. They're averaging about 250 or so a week. Lifetime Learning, as you know, well underway. As of February 15th, we had 1,056 class registrations made by 250 people, of which 25 of them were first-timers. This is a very good point, and I've really noticed it both online and in the checks that are written for registrations. Almost half of the people registering have added an extra donation to their course fee, and which is wonderful. You know, people add $10, $50, $100, and they changed the language a bit on the registration form to kind of suggest that if you wanted to make another donation, and so that's really helped. And in our financials, it's showed up that our donations are higher too, so that's nice.
Excuse me, Linda, do you thank them for that? Or has that gotten
There's
organized?
there's no specific letter or whatever that
Yeah.
goes out for that.
Okay.
But it's made a difference anyways. It's also written the Zoom connection to the crane room will be hardwired. I think it has been hardwired since some of the issues they had, so we won't be relying on the wireless anymore for the
Okay.
Zoom connection. And the Friends will be using the front showcase in the library in July.
Well, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, okay, you are,
Because we
okay.
wanna partner with you to
Oh.
support the building of the new library in July.
Okay. And just briefly, I'll just go through very quickly high-level financials. We only have them from July through January right now, so the 7 months out of our fiscal year. Revenue's about 91,000, a little over 91,000, which is up about 7,000 over last year. Some of it is the income in our investments. Some of it is membership, about 2,700 in membership is up, and those are the donations I was just referring to. And book sales are down, offsetting some of that upside. Contribution expenses are about 52,000, actually slightly north of 52,000, which is about 19,000 over last year, but again, 21,000 of that went to the technology upgrade that we put in the Marion Crane Room. Operating expenses are about 22,000, very consistent with last year, no major changes there. So our net income is $16,800, down a little bit because of the technology upgrade that we put in this year. So, doing very well.
Great. Any questions for Linda? Yes?
Two, because I've had insomnia lately.
Oh, no.
One is, would we ever consider doing piloting a 1-week summer lifetime learning as a way to reach part-time residents, part-time homeowners? I would think that as a pilot,
idea.
there would be
Yeah.
groups in the area that have a ready-made package program that they could deliver. Just thinking that,
Yeah, I like that
assuming
idea.
positive things happen with this building, it's a ready-made way to get people. And so, I know it's something we've never done,
Yeah,
but
well,
that was one thing. Then the other thing that ties up with the building and Friends is it occurred to me that we maybe have a wonderful opportunity to get the word out about the hopefully April 10th meeting by if we put ourselves in front of the lifetime learning sessions over the next few weeks to say, hey, April 10th, watch the select board or attend in person or watch it on demand afterwards so you can learn more about the building and see where they are on the building because you maybe didn't attend the other things. But we don't have a firm April 10th date yet.
Yeah, that's the problem with that, yeah.
But I just thought it's a great opportunity to
Yeah.
get people face to face, and again, get it out there. I mean, I would be willing to go as much, but I don't think we have the date yet.
yeah. But even still, you could say upcoming in April, hopefully April 10th, but it could be 24th or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good idea. You
Yeah.
should use all those. You're absolutely correct. It's kept your audience,
yeah.
even to talk about the warrant article.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, not a lot of time, because people are there for a class, and they paid for a class.
But
But yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I did reach out to
Yeah,
Mia
come to the town
earlier
meeting and
today
vote to support the
about, what is the persistent link for the live select board meeting and the recording and things like this. So I thought, well, maybe going to the lifetime learning and having something that people could take a picture of on their phones and then have it as a reminder. But I just think it's a great opportunity
Yeah.
to be in the PR department.
Well, I'll bring those back to Ellen in particular, too.
I was gonna say, don't tell Ellen I said.
I would just say, it was suggested.
By someone named Mark.
So,
All right.
good suggestions.
Good, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. Mark is up now for the rest of the manual policies. 3 or 4 we're going
Yeah,
over.
we just have a few few, and I gave everyone the order. The first one is the social media policy. And as I did last time, Joan's comments previously were that we should add TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, into the list, even though we're not currently using them. And then she also suggested that we move the third paragraph down to right above the paragraph that starts, Snow Library staff will remove blah, 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 comments. And those are what I've received from Joan. I don't know if others had comments.
Could you repeat that, please? I didn't hear you.
Sure. Move the third paragraph
Yep.
to after the next paragraph that
Okay.
starts users, so move it down.
I didn't follow what you're saying. The third paragraph says the
paragraph.
library welcomes public comments?
Correct. Below the next paragraph, which starts
Just switch
users
the
are
two.
encouraged.
Okay, all right.
And the only reason why, I mean, I think we should say library uses social media, maybe not even list Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, we should just put all social media, because new things come up.
All the
And I don't want to just limit it to,
And that was my suggestion as well, not to specify.
right,
Yeah.
so maybe we just say any social media.
Any social
Yeah,
media.
and get rid of,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't personally, and this is, I don't like mentioning X.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. So I can do
Because Elon
any.
Musk, I mean, is a fascist, and I don't think we should be advertising.
Yeah, okay, I'll keep it very vanilla.
Vanilla.
Okay.
Any other comments on that? Okay. The next one was the art gift acceptance policy. Last time we did have a conversation about the gift policy and another policy and how this fit in with it. And I totally agree and will work on that, particularly once we hear from Mike Ford. What I was curious about this one was to hear people's primarily reactions to how we decide if something's appropriate or not for the library. And then share with you comments that I received about that we don't want to accept furniture, so we would take that out. And we probably don't want to accept sculpture, particularly outside sculpture, because we're not in the business of maintaining a
Strong
sculpture
retaining.
garden. And there's a safety and conservation issue with that. So those were two things. But I'm most curious about whether people have any concerns about sort of like how we decide on the appropriateness of a piece of art for the collection.
Well, okay. I just had a question. We keep talking about this deed of gift form, but we don't have that included here.
Right. I have one. It would have been new to the packet, so I didn't want
Okay.
to add another.
Okay.
So the art gift policy to me is, we get people asking if we want this piece of art, and you have to look at it and be like, I don't know, does it fit what we need? I think it's tough. I mean, we probably don't need any more art right now.
Well,
But we got some nice art recently of some woman, some famous author, some famous painter it was of a woman reading a book to someone, and it fit beautifully into the children's section, and she was some renowned painter. So you don't want to turn everything down, but you need to have those judgment calls.
Can you come up with like some list of criteria, so to
we have
speak?
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I presented, definitely. That's what I want to know is this okay? Because I mean, one concern of mine was, you don't want to sit in based on open meeting law and say, oh, this painting is no good, I don't think we should keep it, and then the donor's sitting right in front of you or is on Zoom with you. So you want to at least be able to have done an initial
Sure.
cut of
Sure.
the
And
artwork.
in your criteria, do you list like room for storage, room for display?
Reputation of the artist and relation to Orleans, quality, size, condition, and media, inclusion of copyright permission for the artwork, provenance or other documentation, monetary value, costs of installation and maintaining over the lifetime of the work, like no gifts posing a danger, like sharp edges, heavy, unstable objects, and no gifts that require extensive, regular care or conservation.
But maybe if we add that, if we don't have room for it, like if we don't have room to hang the piece of art, we could not take the piece of art, because that's part of the biggest issue. If we don't have adequate space
Display.
to show, to display the art,
Yeah. And
Well, that's sort of a size, I mean, if it's, although,
well, you never know, yeah.
yeah,
And display and store, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have.
Here, it also says right here in the third paragraph, it says contingent on having space to
Okay.
accommodate artwork.
So it's all there
that's
already.
on
All
there.
right, so, okay, so you will be seeing this again. My primary thing was to make sure we were in agreement about that. But
Yeah.
I'll be working
Okay.
on all of that.
I do know at one of our meetings that we presented, the library, the new feasibility study, someone said, well, make sure you include having some art outside of the library.
I'm sorry, what?
Someone had said in the meeting, make sure you include having some art outside of the library. And I would like to say, if someone would like some art outside the library, that should maybe come from a different cultural council,
Yeah.
someone that's responsible for it,
Yeah.
that, because it ends up needing work and money,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
well, there's this committee that was formed in town
right.
of different people
Right.
to,
And they
Pick
should be
art
the ones
and do
to
things,
look at that
yes.
for outside, okay.
Here, the art gift policy, so much more, it seems, the Board of Trustees has the sole discretion. And some of the other gifts, the library director is much more
Right, so
involved.
I'm gonna unify it all
So
into
you'll
one,
have
yeah.
it, like,
Yeah.
I would almost think it would be his opinion first. Do we have a place for it or anything before we would even get involved? So, yeah, okay.
No, we don't have any.
Yeah, but the director might want to get you involved,
Right,
take the
to
heat
get
off himself,
political.
you know.
Right.
Well, right.
Someone should.
Both
just
of
so-
us, but, I mean, us and the director, but shouldn't just be us.
All right, the lost and found policy,
Seems good.
okay. And then the appeals process, Joan had asked, should we say, and I agreed, that policies are reviewed at a minimum every 5 years. And then she'd asked in the question of if something is handled by the director, why is the assistant director involved?
Right.
And Tavi and I discussed that, and I think Tavi said, I now can't remember, did we?
Well, we are, I mean, the director and assistant director are on most of these things that, you know, if I'm unavailable or, you know, like with the display case, that, you know, the assistant director can weigh in on it.
Yeah. And so that I was being consistent with
Okay,
that.
yeah, that's fine.
And then Joan thought that 30 days to respond from the chair of the Board of Trustees was too long, and she said suggested 14 days, and then to clarify how you contact the chair of the trustees.
Because we don't have an email online. Like, how would someone know how to contact the chair of the trustees? They'd have to send it to you, Tavi.
Right, or they could contact me and I could give them the email or.
Right, we just need to make that clear, but it's my personal email. It's not, we don't have a town email. So I think all communications go towards you, and then you would pass it on. We just need to make that clear.
And those are all the four. I was also going to apologize for last time. I was not looking at the time, and I went on far.
No, it was
longer.
great. Mark, you've done a great job.
I was just like,
Phenomenal
okay.
job.
Amazing what you've done.
I totally lost track of time.
Phenomenal job.
No.
All right, let's move on to the postcard mailing. Jamie's not here, but the Friends have said they will pay for the postcard mailing. It came in lower because of a nonprofit status. It will be 4 by 6.
They have yet.
Yeah, they did.
Sorry, are you gonna vote on the last thing?
When?
Because it says vote.
Oh, we have to vote on the last 4?
It does say vote.
I don't think we
Oh.
voted on the
agenda.
others as we were looking
Do we have to
at.
vote on
because we
accepting?
were-
Because
they were changing. No, we did
Yeah,
vote.
yeah, totally.
There was no vote yet.
So no vote needed?
We voted on,
Did we
initially a couple of them, but I don't
Well,
think we voted on
where are
any.
the, here we have the
I
minutes
would-
from last
I would suggest that
meeting right here.
Wait, wait,
at
what,
at our
Mark?
very first one we did,
Yes,
before
right,
we went to Mike Ford
now we have to
with
look at Mike
what
Ford.
has become an extensive package. And it would be better to vote based on his revisions. um, So it's,
Okay.
we do it as a
Okay.
package, but at least we have given it a first pass.
Okay,
So no vote needed.
It could be that he significantly revises or says, no, you won't, or
okay.
can't, or whatever.
okay.
Okay, thank you. So the postcard mailing, Friends got a new price.
Yeah, but it hasn't been approved yet. She just sent out the request for approval today, and not everybody has responded.
Okay, but in the future, all these creative things are gonna
We'll
go through the new
capital campaign.
capital campaign board,
Right,
which will
and
make that more
I'll
streamlined.
talk to
Okay,
Tracy.
all right, so that's that. The display case, Lindsay, are you on? Your name's there and you're on mute.
Well, the postcard mailing, when do we want,
I think Jamie's handling it, and he had to go to a
Out.
basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that we're gonna send it out,
May, okay,
it's gonna go out April sometime.
mid to late April?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I don't think you need it that far in advance. I mean,
No.
people are gonna read it
No.
right before they go to town meeting. So we,
Yeah, I mean, if they got it the first week of May, right, that
Right.
would
right,
be close to ideal.
yeah.
Okay.
So Jamie's at a basketball game. The display case. Lindsay has volunteered to lead the design of the display case. Oh, she's here. Okay, go ahead, Lindsay. You're on mute.
I've been here, I was moving a little bit, so I
That's
didn't
all right,
want to
that's all right.
distract you. I'm here, I've been here.
Okay, so Lindsay is volunteered to lead the design of the display case, and I talked to Tavi. We have some dates and times, some dates available through rearranging, and then we do want to talk to the Friends about July. So I had sent Lindsay a message that also Steve had talked to Matt, the architect, who's willing to help us with some design things that we could use in the case to make it come to life.
Oh,
What, we don't know yet, but Lindsay can be in touch with Matt. So do you want to go over the dates, Tavi?
Sure, and I also wanted to mention as well about 2025, if the trustees would like any dates to decide as soon as possible, because we're getting a lot of requests for it. Like already, February, and of course it's lifetime learning, so the trustees can work with lifetime learning on that. April is Nauset School. They do the art exhibit in the display case. And also September is the Celebrate Our Waters. They do a fairly elaborate and big display.
I think for 2025, if we end up having to need a town vote in May, we're going to want the display case the same way we do this year. But we're not going to know if we need a town vote in May until after November. So the school's just going to have to wait, because
Yeah.
it's just the way it's
It's
going to
your
be.
display case,
Right,
I
it's a
mean.
display case. So the town's just going to have to, the school's going to have to know, we're not going to know about April until
November,
November.
right?
Okay. Well, you can have May. I mean, I can put you down for May. The reason I mention is because
usually.
I think we'd want it April.
April, we would want it April. If at this time, and how it's written in all policies, the display case goes priority to the library. If we find out we need to go forward with money for a design, 2.5 million, if we don't get the grant, we need the library, as much room as we can have.
Yeah, in fact,
Right,
you
okay.
wanted like, not a full, you
Half
really,
April.
ideally you wanted like the last 2 weeks of April and the first 2
Right.
weeks of May leading right up to town meeting,
I was
right?
gonna say well, that's what, we
We're gonna
told
do
them
this year.
this year, that they could only have it for the first 3 weeks of April.
right, which is what you have now. But see, the issue is, so it's too much work for them to just do it for 2 weeks. So they have canceled out of it. And my point is,
Oh, really?
my point is though that it doesn't cement community goodwill to,
I thought we told them
habitually
they could
do
have
that.
it for 3 weeks.
That they have a school break.
they have a school break, so it would have to be out earlier, and it just isn't worth it for them to do for that period of time.
So they're looking to do it in April?
Yes.
They normally, I mean, that's what it was always April, so, I mean, and this year they didn't do it, but the thing is, so if I'm actually going to already contact them and mention about next year, because I just don't think having them go through and planning everything and then, you know, have it taken away from them like that is good, so
No.
I will,
Well, the chance of us needing it for next May, I don't know.
50-50?
We have no clue.
or April.
Or April,
Yeah.
but we do need to utilize the library's assets to promote what's going on, and I think,
Is this a display where they display the arts and crafts?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
The jewelry.
I'm
Everybody should
all
come
for
in.
that. That's a great display.
You know,
I know.
I know. I hate to see them not be able to do it after those kids work so hard.
Tommy, when you showed me the archives room a few weeks ago, I noticed there are two cases with the sliding doors. One of them seems fairly empty. Could that be used for the jewelry if it was moved downstairs?
we're really trying to get organized in there at this point. It would really be nice, but you can take it out. I made the inventory.
I mean, I was only.
Yeah, I have the
Yeah, I don't know, I
inventory,
mean,
so I
we
know
probably
what we
need help
have.
from the DPW to do it.
Yeah.
And where would we put it?
Right.
There's a
Where
key.
we put it.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
a case in
I got the
there?
idea, I have to go down and see, but I mean, it
You know,
could
with
go
glass-
in,
glass
actually
covered.
in the crane room, and so it's with all the other artwork.
Cases, aren't
Yeah.
they?
That's actually a great idea. Could we give them it for the crane room?
What did he just, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh,
what
could
he
they
said.
give it to the school for the crane room so it's with the other artwork? I do feel bad
It's
that the
just a
school's
bookcase,
not
though,
gonna
because it's
use.
really kind of hard to figure out how they would do it.
It's not a display case, there's just a bookcase.
They could lie and
There's one as you come in right to the left, and there's one further to the back. It
Yeah.
looks like the same type,
They
but
are.
I thought I saw that there was a lock on it.
There is.
There,
But they're just like bookcases.
How are you gonna display jewelry? Just lie it flat?
is that how it typically is?
No.
Well,
because
they
it's
usually
like-
hang it
Yeah.
up.
On court,
So-
the court.
I'm just trying to be
Creative, yes.
creative
Maybe we
and
could use the
make them
display
happy,
case, yes.
so.
Well, let me go back to this. Do we just want to go back and tell the school they can have all of April and then all we're having is the beginning of May?
Well, I mean,
When's
they're.
the meeting? When's the town meeting? Sorry.
May 14th.
The 14th. Well, that
That's
still
this
gives you
year,
2
right?
weeks.
Yes.
Well, this year it isn't a problem. What I'm saying is though, is like,
Next year.
you know, they said, you know,
Just let them
we
have it
really look
next year.
forward to this.
Just let them
and-
have it next
Okay.
year. Because
We'll figure out
we'll
something.
figure out
else.
next year.
Okay, well, I mean, you have, I mean, we can hold for you, I mean, January, March, May, we can do one of the summer months.
Well, we're not gonna know what we need. I just think people should know that we can give them 60 days notice or something. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
There's certain ones I think we could kick out easier because it's just like filler space, like the one that's in there now. I mean,
well, I mean, if we think we have to go back and start again, all over again on
Right.
this library, maybe March is good. Maybe we start in March with a
we might not
display.
even need it if we get the grant, I don't know.
And we could ask for March and then give it up if we
Well, I
find.
that they know that there's maybe a request from the trustees, right, the Marion Crane Committee?
No, this isn't Mary.
I mean, you know, it'd be good for them to know that this is very important for the library.
Well, and this is a separate thing, though, we're talking about the display case
Display
right
case.
now. That's the next
Oh, that's an
item on there is the Marion.
I think, let's just tell the school they can have it in April and just, I don't know.
Okay, well, this year you're all set, they were
Okay.
fine with it and they understand with it, but, okay.
All right, so Lindsay's gonna lead the display case, here we go again. And she'll work on maybe using some of the wording we just said about the points and make it look 3D, and we're gonna give her some money, Linda, to do the display case so it looks,
So what month is this
we're
going to
gonna
be?
get April,
And half of May?
So you can, what I was gonna mention is we talked about, you know, like April 14th to May 14th, but actually if the school's not doing it, you can actually get in as soon as you want in April.
okay. And I would say sooner than as soon as we can would be great, because people are asking questions now. And then, I don't know if anyone wants to help Lindsay, but we will have some money for supplies and dioramas and,
Okay, so You know, I was mentioning earlier that the Friends was going to use the display case for July, and you said, oh, we'll talk about that later.
Because we also want something in the summer for the summer people to know about what's going on with the
Okay.
library. And
Okay.
Tavi had suggested we work with the Friends so that we can have a message up there about,
Okay.
The library
All right.
building.
I just,
because I didn't know what the Friends were gonna do messaging wise, Linda.
it's for membership.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
I
and
think we
kind
can
of everything we do
maybe,
for the
Sure,
library
you can
and.
do together.
yeah, maybe there's something that we could do together about building the new future and
for
joining
July,
Friends,
okay.
because Friends supports the
So
library's
you're
future.
gonna do April 14th through May 14th maybe, and then you want
Right.
to partner with the Friends for July.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of dates in May, we just have to send an email. I sent Lindsay, Nauset Neighbors has it really through the 10th, but we know the people on Nauset Neighbors, and we'll just tell them we need it through the 14th. So Lindsay's gonna do that. I don't know if anyone else wants to help her with that.
I'm happy to help, I'm not very artistic, but
I
if,
know.
if you need somebody to help put it up that day, or anything, bounce ideas off of, I'm happy to help.
Great, thank you.
Me
Yeah,
too.
any ideas, please do send me an email. I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna tell you, I was just at the Cape Cod Museum of Natural History, and they have these great displays now that look like, I don't know, they look sort of retro, at the same time they look sort of cool, but they have cutouts and they're on little display things, and I don't know, they just redid their displays. I thought they did a pretty nice job. And the other thing is, if we start having some of this messaging, I want to talk to Tracy about the July 4th parade, because this all sort of wraps up into
That's a good idea.
the messaging for July 4th. And hopefully we'll get more people to march other than, with some of us. Mark brought his family member, or was that Gary's family member?
Smart.
It was Mark's family member. Hey, she was very helpful with her
And her
boyfriend.
now